I remember the day as if it were yesterday. I was 12, sprawled on the living room floor, surrounded by my parents' old records. That's when I first heard it. A voice so powerful, so rich, it seemed to fill every corner of the room. Dmitriy Hvorostovsky, the Russian baritone. In that moment, my world changed forever. From then on, opera became my obsession, my sanctuary. I'd spend hours listening to Hvorostovsky's recordings, trying to mimic his perfect phrasing, his emotional depth. Sometimes I'd switch to pop, a la Pugacheva, Irina Allegorova, but always I'd return to opera, to Hvorostovsky. I saw my first live opera at 14, Dama Pique, at St. Petersburg's Little Opera Theater. The music, the drama, the sheer spectacle of it all. I was utterly entranced. A year later, I saw Chio Chio-san in the same theater. By then, I knew this was my world. But Hvorostovsky remained a fascinating figure, always just out of reach. Hvorostovsky was only a young singer, 28 years old. He did not have any recordings yet. He just won a Cardiff competition in Wales. I never have seen his vinyl recordings, only CDs or audio files on Apple. I also saw his recordings on YouTube. I have heard him sing first on radio and the TV in Russia. Years passed. My passion for opera never waned, but life had a way of intervening. Then, last month, I saw the announcement. Hvorostovsky was performing nearby. I felt like that 12-year-old again, heart racing as I bought the ticket. The night of the concert arrived. As I entered the grand hall, I could barely breathe. The air was thick with anticipation, the murmur of the crowd a low, excited hum. I found my seat, surrounded by other opera enthusiasts. To my left, a group of Russians were chatting animatedly.
First time seeing Hvorostovsky? Ah, you're in for a treat. But there's something about you. You remind us of him, Hvorostovsky.
Their words stunned me. How could I, a mere fan, resemble my idol? Before I could respond, the lights dimmed. A hush fell over the audience. And then he was there. Hvorostovsky, older now, his once dark hair a distinguished silver. But those eyes, still as intense, as captivating as ever. As he prepared to sing, I noticed something unexpected. He seemed nervous. A slight tremor in his hands, a flicker of vulnerability in those steely eyes. And then, he began to sing. The years melted away. I was 12 again, hearing that voice for the first time. But now I could see the man behind the voice. The passion, the dedication, the years of hard work. In that moment, I felt a connection I'd never experienced before. We were not so different, he and I. Both of us driven by our love for this art. As he sang of love and loss, of triumph and despair, I saw my own journey reflected in his performance. The nervousness I'd noticed earlier transformed into raw emotion, pouring out through every note, and I realized this was why the Russians had seen him in me. As the final notes faded and the audience erupted in applause, I remained still, forever changed. No longer just a fan, but a kindred spirit in the world of opera. In Hvorostovsky's voice, I had found my own. In his journey, I saw my path forward. And as I left the Lyric Opera in Kansas City that night, I knew that the 12-year-old me would be proud. For I had not just attended a concert, I had come home.